Hey viewers, Michael Warren here from Essential Guitar Lessons, and let's learn how to play Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi. Don't forget, if you like this lesson, to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and check out my YouTube channel Essential Guitar Lessons. Lots of songs and lessons for all levels and new ones uploaded weekly, and I'll put a link in the description for you. Now if you have any problems with this song, please leave a comment and let me know how you go. Now we'll cover all the guitar parts and we'll start with the chords. So if you know these chords, jump ahead to this time. So let's get into it. So the chords we're using is D minor, so open D string, 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B, and 1st fret on the E, and that's our D minor. We also have a D chord, so open D string, 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B, and 2nd fret on the E, and that's our D. And we also have a D5, so we just play the D the same, open D string, 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B, and that's our D5. We have a standard C chord, so 3rd fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the D, open G, 1st fret on the B, and open E. We also have a C add 9 chord, so this time 3rd fret on the A, 2nd fret on the D, open G, 3rd fret on the B and the E. That's our C add 9. We have a standard G chord, 3rd fret on the E string, 2nd fret on the A, open D and G, 3rd fret on the B and E. And we also have an F chord, and you can play this as a bar chord or an open chord. So we have the 3rd fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G, and 1st fret on the B and the E, and that's our F or your F bar chord, 1st fret on the E string, 3rd fret on the A and the D, 2nd fret on the G, 1st fret on the B and the E, and that's our F bar chord. And they're all the chords we got, so let's jump into the song, and we'll start with the acoustic guitar. So for our acoustic, we don't play in the intro, there's slide guitar, and we'll get to that. Then for the first verse, we don't play either, and then we go back to the intro again and we don't play there. So the acoustic guitar is going to start on our 2nd verse, and we're going to start with our D minor, and the pattern we're using is down, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, 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 up. So again, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. And that's 1 bar, and that's the same pattern we use through the whole song. So we start on D minor for 1 bar, C for 1 bar, same strumming pattern, G for 1 bar, back to D minor for 1 bar, F for 1 bar, C for 1 bar, G for 1 bar, and finish on D minor for 1 bar. And that's our 2nd verse there, so nothing too hard. Let's play that through up to speed, starting on our D minor. And then from there we go into our chorus, and again this is pretty easy. We do G for a bar, same strumming pattern. D for a bar this time instead of D minor. Back to the G, a bar. D for a bar. G for a bar, D for a bar, this time C add 9 for a bar, G for a bar, and just finish on the D one strum. Then it goes back to the intro again, and we don't play on the acoustic there again. It's slide guitar, and we'll do that down the track. So let's start the chorus, starting on the G. We'll just play that through quickly. Then we go back to the intro and we just play it through once. No acoustic guitar there. Then we go back to the verse. We do that exactly the same as our previous verse. Our chorus, we do that exactly the same. Then we go back to the intro again and we don't play there. And then we have our solo. So let's go over the chords for that. It's going to be similar to the chorus. We're going to start on the G, 1 bar. D a bar. G for a bar, D for a bar, G for a bar, D for a bar. This time we go to F for a bar. Then we go to G and we're going to do a down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then just finish on the D. And that's an acoustic guitar behind the rhythm, so let's do that up to speed now. D, G, D, stop there and then our D. So for our G we're going to put a stop down, stop, and then our D there. Then from there we go back into the intro. We don't play on there. The verse again we don't play, not the acoustic guitar. And then we have the last chorus. Let's go over that now. So for our last chorus we do G for a bar, same strumming pattern again. D for a bar, G for a bar, D for a bar, G for a bar, D for a bar. Our C add 9, our G for a bar. Now it changes here, we're going to do D for a bar, C add 9 for a bar, G for a bar, back to D for 2 bars, and again, C add 9 for a bar, G for a bar, and then D, just 1 strum to finish. 3, 4, you can hold that there. So the chorus is the same, it's just the end bit that changes. So let me play that last part for you, starting from the D. C add 9, G, D, D again, C add 9, so that's what the acoustic guitar is doing, our strumming. Now let's have a look at the other parts as well. Okay, so for our heavy guitar, we're going to start on the 13 on the B string and do a bend there, and then just play 13. it's pretty easy. Then we jump back to the D string, first fret, slide up to the third fret, and then just the open. So we're on the D string. Then we play our D power chord, and we're going to hold that for 2 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then play the third fret on the A string, and play that D power chord again. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we play the open A, third fret A, the D power chord again, and then the open D string, third fret pull off to the open on the D string, then the third fret on the A string, and then the open D string. Then from there we do the A string, hammer onto 3, and then again on the D string, open, hammer onto 3, and then just play the D chord, the D5, open D string, third fret pull off to the open on the D, A string, third fret pull off to the open, and play the D chord again, and then on the A string, open, third fret, D chord, and then the open D string, third fret pull off to the open, A string, third fret pull off to the open, and then the D chord again, and then to finish that off, A string, open, hammer onto the third fret, and then D, open, hammer onto the third fret, and then just finish with the D chord. So that's the intro there. Let me play that for you because that's a little bit confusing. Then we start with our little fills there. From there we go into the verse, and there's no heavy guitar there, and then we go back to the intro again. So let's have a look at what the heavy guitar's doing. It's going to be doing something similar. We're going to start on the open A, hammer onto 3, and then the D, do the same, open D, hammer onto 3, and then just hold the D chord, and then just repeat that again. So it's pretty easy once you've done the first intro, so let's do that up to speed. And then for the next verse, no heavy guitar, and then we have the chorus. Let's go over that now. We're going to start with the slide in G chord. We just play that twice, and then we play the open A string, third fret A string, and then the D chord. We do that 2 times, and we do that through 3 times. Let's do it through a couple of times. Again. Finish that off, we just play our C add 9, hold for a bar, and then our G and hold that for a bar. And that's our chorus. That's pretty easy. Then we go back to the intro, so we're just going to play the D, hold for a bar, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, do our open A, hammer onto 3, open D, hammer onto 3, and then just play the D chord again. So straight after the chorus we go back to there. So we have our C add 9, our G, straight to our intro again. 4, and that's our intro there. Then we go back to the verse again, and we have no heavy guitar there. Then we go to our chorus again, so let's have a look at that. We're going to slide in again, play the G 2 times, do our A string, open 3, to D 2 times. This time we're going to do the 3, pull off to the open on the D string, and on the A string 3, pull off to open. Then just go back to G again 2 times, do a little run up on the A string, open 3, D 2 times. Back to G again 2 times. Now this time on the A string we play open 3 and then 3 on the D, so we're jumping there. And then back to the D 2 times. And we do our C add 9 and our G. And it's our next chorus there. So again, nothing too hard, let's do that up to speed starting on the G. Back to our intro, our D again, our A string, O, hammer onto 3, D string, O, hammer onto 3, and finish on our D. Again, pretty easy. So that's our chorus and our intro. From there we go into our solo, so we're going to start on the open A string, hammer onto 3, open D string, hammer onto 3, then we're just going to hold the G chord for a bar, 2, 3, 4, the D chord for a bar, 3, 4, back to the G chord, 1 bar, D chord for a bar, G chord for a bar, D chord, but we're going to play it 2 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, the F, play it 2 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up to the G and just hold that. 2, 3, 4, and then we go straight back to the intro. So let's quickly play through that. And D, and our G, D, and our G, our D 2 times, our F, and then from there we're going straight into our intro again. So A string, open, hammer onto 3, D string, open, hammer onto 3, to the D, and do that again. So we've done that before. That's pretty easy. Then from there we go back into the verse, and there's no heavy guitar in that. And then we go back to the chorus. This is going to be similar to our last chorus. We're going to play G 2 times, A string, open 3 to our D 2 times. This time we're going to play the 3rd fret on the D string, pull off to the open, and just play the 3rd fret on the A string. So, and back to G 2 times. Open A, 3rd fret A, D 2 times. Now this time just play the G 2 times, D 2 times, a C at 9, our G. Now to finish it off, we're going to do our little fill again, open onto 3 on the A string, hammer on, same on the D string, D 2 times, C add 9 2 times, G 2 times, then just hold the D for a bar, then do the D 2 more times, a C add 9, a G 2 times, and then to finish that off, our little outro, we're going to do our hammer on, A string, open, hammer onto 3, D string, open, hammer onto 3, and then just finish on the D and do that 2 times there. And that's our outro there. So let me just play that last part of the chorus, because the first part's pretty similar to something we've done before. So C at 9, our G, our D, D again, our C at 9, our G, and then we have our intro, or our outro to finish. And again. So there are all the heavy guitar parts there. We also have the solo, which is going to be heavy, and we'll come to that at the end, and we'll be using slide for that. So let's have a look at the next parts as well. So our next guitar is going to be our acoustic, and we're going to be using slide. And our first part, we're going to have the 10th fret slide back to the 8th, and then when we're doing slide, we actually play on the fret bar, so it's the front of the 10th fret slide back to 8. And then we slide up to 7 on the B string, so that first one was on the B string as well. Slide up to 7 and then play 7 on the G. There, so slowly. And then we just play 5, slide up to 7 on the G, and then 7D, 7G. And that's a start before our main intro riff, so let's do that up to speed. And then we have our main riff, and we're going to call this riff 1 because we do this all the time. We're going to start on the B string, we're going to have 8, slide up to 10, then play 10 again, and again. Then come to the E string, have 8, and then 8 slide to 10, and then play 10 on the B. So slowly there. Then we're going to have 8, so slide up to 8 on the B string, play it again, and then 8 slide back to 5, play the 5 again, and then 5 slide to 6 back to 3, and then 3 there. And we do that through 2 times, so let's do that slowly first and then up to speed. And let's do that up to speed now, starting on the 8, sliding up to 10 on the B string. That's riff 1, we do that through 2 times, and then to finish that intro off we slide up to the 10th fret and we play the B and the E string, and then we come back to the D string. We're going to slide from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret and then play the open, and then slide back up to the 10th fret on the B and the E string. So there's plenty of time to get to those in there, so let's just do those quickly now. And that's our intro there. So then from there we have our first verse and we have no slide guitar in that there. Then we go back to the intro and we do riff 1 by 2 again, so that's exactly the same as our other intro. Then we go back to the verse again, no slide guitar there, and then we jump into the chorus. Let's have a look at that now. So for our chorus, we're going to play the A and the D string, and we're going to slide up to the 5th fret, and then play it again. And then play the D and the G string and slide up to the 7th fret, and do that again. And we just repeat that 3 times, that's pretty easy. And then to finish that up, slide onto the 5th fret on the D and the G string, and then the 5th fret on the A and the D string. And that's our chorus there, so let's do that a couple of times through there, pretty easy. Back to the 5s, to the 7s, one more time, the 7s, back to the 5s, D, G, and then 5s, A and D there. And that's our chorus, that's pretty easy there. Then we go back to our intro and we do that first riff again, but this time we only play it through once. And then we go into our verse from there, and there's a couple of little fills in there using our slides, so let's have a look at that. So we're going to start on the 1st fret on the B and the E string and slide up to the 3rd fret. That's our first little fill. The next one we're just sliding up to the 10th fret on the D and the G string. Then the next one we're playing the 7th fret on the D, slide back to the 5th and then play the 5th again. So pretty easy. Then the next one we're playing the G string, 2nd fret, slide up to the 7th. And then to finish that verse off, we're going to be on the D string, 2nd fret, slide to the 3rd fret, play the open and do that 2 times. So again, pretty easy there. And that's our verse there, and then from that we go into our chorus. It's going to be similar to the first chorus. We have the 5 on the A and the D, slide up, play it again, and then we have the 7 on the D and the G twice. Now this one changes a little bit, 5 on the A and the D again. Now this time I'm going to slide up to the 7 on the D and the G, then play the 7, so slide up to it on the G, and then slide up to the 6 on the B there, so on that 7. And then we go back to the 5s on the A and the D, the 7s, D and G, and then this time we're going to play the 5s on the D and the G, play it again and slide down, and then the 5s on the A and the D. So that's that next chorus. Let's play that up to speed, not too hard there. Then from there we go back to our intro and we do that the same as we've already done it. That's our riff 1, we do it 2 times. And then for our solo we have the main slide solo, and we'll look at that at the end. Then once you've done that, we go back to riff 1, our intro, we do that through 2 times. Then our verse again, and there's no slide guitar there. And then we go back to our last chorus. Let's have a look at that now. So again, start on your 5th fret A and D twice. D and G, 7th fret. Back to the 5th fret on the A and the D. And then do our D string 2 slide up to 3. Then do it again and play the open there. So, and then slide up to the 10th fret B and E there. So, and then for the next part of the chorus, we're going to play the 5s again on the A and the D. Then slide up to your 7s on the D and the G, and then do 5, slide to 7 on the G. So we play, and then we play our 5s on the D and the G. Play it again and let it come back, and then up to our 5s there. So similar to the other choruses, let me play that through for you. And then from there we just go into our 7s on the D and the G 2 times, 5 on the D and the G 2 times, 5 on the A and the D, back to 7s on the D and the G 2 times, do that again, 5s on the D and the G, and then 5s on the A and the D there. So nothing too tricky in that part. Then we have our intro riff again, and it does that exactly the same, and we do that through 2 times. And then we have this little outro slide, so let's cover that. So we're starting on the 7th fret on the D, play that once, and then 7th fret on the G, slide back to the 5th fret, and then play the 5th fret on the D, and then play the 5th fret on the G again, and then play it again and slide up to 7. So. And then we're just going to play 7, slide back to 5, slide back to 3, and then the open. So if you take your slide off, you'll get that open there, and then D string, and that's all on the D, and then the D string 2, slide to 3, do that again, play the open, and then we're just going to do the 7th fret harmonic on the D, 7th fret harmonic on the G, so to finish that off. So let's play that up to speed, nothing too hard there again. So that's all the guitar parts there. Now let's have a look at our main solo as well. Let me play that for you, then we'll break it down. So we're going to start by sliding up to 15 on the E string, and we play it again. And then we're jumping to the B string, we're going to do 10, slide back to 8, and then on the G string, 10, slide back to 12, slide up to 12, sorry, and then play the 12 on the D there, so. And then we're going to jump back to the B string, play 10, slide back to 8, and then G string, 10, slide back to 7. And then we play 5, slide to 7 on the B string 2 times, play 7 on the G, and then play the 7 on the D and the G, slide all the way up to 14, and then back to 12 there. So let me do that part slowly for you there. And then from there we're going to do 10, slide up to 8 on the B, and then 10, slide up to 12 on the G, and then just play 12 on the D, and then 12 on the A, slide back to 10, and then we're jumping all the way back to the D string, 2nd fret, slide to the 3rd fret and play the open, and we do that 5 times, so 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we just play the open G string 2 times, and then we go back to the D string, open, hammer onto the 3rd fret, so we don't use our slide here, and play the open G string. So then we do 5, slide up to 7 on the G string, play the open G string, and then 6, slide up to 8 on the B string. So that part slowly. Then from there again we're going to use our fingers, we're going to do 10, pull off the 8 on the B, play 10 on the G, and then 8 back on the B, so then jump back with the slide again, B string 10, slide up to 13, back to 10, and then 10, slide to 12 on the G string, and then D string 10, slide to 12, so. And then from there we're playing 10, slide up to 12 on the G, and then 10 on the B. So. Now we're going to use our bar here and our fingers. We're going to hammer onto the 10th fret and flick our bar. Now this guitar doesn't flick all that great, so. And then 12 on the G, flick again. 10 on the G, flick, and back to 10 on, 12 on the G, flick again there. So you can hear when I flick this, it's actually ringing all the strings. We don't want that. This guitar just doesn't flick very well. And then we go from 12 on the G, slide back to 10, play it again. And then to finish that off, G, 10, B, 10, slide up to 13, back to 10, so. And then from there we're going to do the B and the E string, play the 13th fret, we're just going to slowly slide up to the 15. Then when you get to the 15, play the 15, and then to finish that off we're going to come all the way up to the 22nd fret, play it, come back to 20, slide up to 22, 24, and then back to 22 there, so we go. So that bit there can be a little bit tricky if you don't have a good cutaway in your guitar there. So let's play that now, that last little part. And that's the whole solo, so let's do that one more time up to speed for you. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.